Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. We are your hosts. My name is Jake.
And I'm Dalton. And this is Talks and Crocs.
The podcast.
Come on. Welcome. Welcome, fam that's online because no one sees us in person.
Someday you might.
Someday.
Come to church, you'll see us.
Literally, our camera's freaking out right now.
Is it?
Yeah. The second I press record. It's good now.
Weird.
Sorry, guys. We're still working through figuring this thing out.
Yeah.
We're going to get it together, I promise.
This side of town has horrible signal anyway.
It does.
iPad's working off the cell tower.
It really, really does.
Oh, by the way, for everybody that doesn't know, we are on multiple podcast platforms.
Yes. Can we go through? Do we have a list?
I can log into Podbean and let you know.
Yeah.
We are on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon. I'm working on Google. I'm having issues with them.
They're a little touchy. It's okay.
It's a little annoying, honestly.
100%.
I've spent hours trying to get us onto Google, and they just do not like us.
It is wild how much time you put into this.
Hey, I want this to be
I
successful.
feel bad. No, I feel that. I'm with you. I just can't offer as much time as you have. And so I feel awful, but we'll get there. We'll get to I'm going to get to a season where I can be able to enjoy some of my time. But right now I'm in the running phase of youth group, which is fine. But I mean, once I get past this camp, these two conferences, and then my conference, then I should be able to relax. Wow, I just hit my mic into sounding way better. However I did that, I don't know.
I'm slowly getting to where we need to be. I've never been on
No, it's fine. It's fine. Take your time.
Podcast deal on my phone on their website.
I'm not in a rush. While he's doing that, I will explain who we are, what we are, and why we do this. Just so you guys have another taste, and if you ever want to watch our first intro podcast. I really wish that we had our very first one, because it sounds so much better. And that was so good.
Oh, that one was great, dude. I was shaking. I was right in tears. It was awesome.
This is where we stream our podcast on, guys.
Yeah, this is where we currently are. We are on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music / Audible, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Samsung, Podchaser. And I'm currently waiting on Google, which is being a pain in the butt.
Is our audio or our audio and video on Spotify?
I think it's just audio right now. I don't have
easy.
anything linked to the YouTube. I haven't spent time to figure that out yet.
No, we'll get that squared away someday.
With the Google one, what their problem is, it wants our email attached to the RSS link, and I go through Podbean. It has the option to do that, but then they never recognize it. So I filed a ticket with Podbean to try to get that figured out.
We'll figure it out.
Tune in. That could take them up to 6 weeks. I haven't heard anything back from Listen Notes or Boom Play yet.
Okay. So, literally, wherever you watch podcasts on.
Or listen.
Check us out. Or listen, not just watch.
But we are on YouTube.
We are. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook now, Instagram. Check out our Instagram. Follow that. Give it a share. Give it a like.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. That's a big one. Hop up on there, please. We just encourage you to comment, share, like it, and just do what you feel. Whatever you want.
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys.
Yes, please.
I would love for this to become interactive, an interactive podcast where we talk with our listeners, whether you're believers or not. I want to talk to you. I'd like to hear from you.
Let me flick my wallet out of picture there. I can't believe I said that live.
It's a good-looking wallet. So do we want to go ahead and start with our questions? Well, you know what? How was your week?
My week was you turd.
Actually, that's not my list. You can ask that. You can ask that if you want.
No, it's okay. I'll tell you how my week is. My week has been busy. Busy. I had my birthday this week. That was fun. That was awesome.
It was yesterday. Happy birthday
Thank
again.
you.
I sent you messages right away in the morning.
You did. I think you were the first person to text me, actually.
It was actually because I saw Chloe's post on Facebook. I'm like, wait a second.
Actually, Colton Marshall texted me way earlier, but I never got to it. So if I go to I'm awful at this. I will wake up, repeatedly call me. But I tell all of my kids, like, hey, you can reach out to me at any time, whenever you want. I am not secluded or hidden. Like, just call me. I have frequently given out my number to masses of people, which is not good sometimes. But Yeah, I found out really, really quick that I am a heavy sleeper, except for when it comes to things that sound like someone's breaking in.
Yeah. Do you snore at all?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
okay.
I talk.
Lucky.
I'm a talker, and I'm apparently a sleep fighter. I have not. I've only hit my wife once in context of sleeping. I have apparently like rolled over and like my arm swung and I like smoked. I felt awful. I felt awful for weeks. Like I apologize so many times.
Shawnee's beat me up in her sleep.
Oh,
Straight
dude.
up, I woke up to her just waylaying into me, and she's asleep. And I wake her up. What were you dreaming about? She's like, oh, I wasn't dreaming at all.
I'm like,
Like, you were beating me up.
No,
So something was going on.
Yeah. Sorry, ADHD. But my week's been great. Just busy. Really, 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 really busy. Literally going from task to task to task to task. But yeah, week's been great. Busy. Doing a camp this weekend. All throughout from now until Sunday. So this is Friday. So Friday to Sunday, doing a camp, speaking to some kids. I took my sermon from last week, actually. Yeah. My last week's sermon about living on this world, living in the world, and stretched it out over 3 days.
Yeah.
And it really actually challenged me a lot in this aspect of like, I wrote, like I'm so glad I remembered that because I left it on my desk. But I have a packet for the kids to do. And this is going to be put out after I do this. So luckily no kids will know. But the first page of the packet, it's tough. And so the first question is, how have people in this world defined you? And it's like letting kids walk through kind of trauma. Well, for some, trauma. For some, actually not so much. And then the next one is, how has your family defined you? And so for me, like those were like, as kids, like those are the two most pivotal things that kind of strike you or hit you when you're younger, like when you're in that developmental stage.
Yeah.
And like even I still count kids that are under 18 in developmental stage.
I'd honestly say up till like the age of 23, 25. Honestly.
25. I'm still learning. Still learning. I mean, but that's my rule for everything. If you're not learning, just go die.
Yep.
You should always, I'm sorry, that's aggressive, but always, always, always be learning. Never get to a spot where you're like, I'm the smartest person in this room.
Yeah.
I never want to be. Mostly because then everybody's going to look at you for answers. But I always want to learn from everybody. That's why I love like our friendship. Like there are so many things we haven't dove into yet that like I'm gonna make a knife sometime this year. We're gonna get a deer together. Like
that'll happen.
You're gonna get your first duck or goose. I'm excited for that.
First flying thing.
Yeah. But there's so much that we can learn from each other that I'm excited for. And where were we, Bunny Trail?
You were telling us about your week.
Yeah. Gosh. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's my week. It's been great. What about you? How's your week?
Well, I'd say the first half of it up until Thursday morning was great.
Yeah?
And then it got frustrating.
Oh, what happened?
Well,
if you can talk about it.
It's going to be part of my happy crappy, so I can either say it now or I can wait till the happy
We'll wait till happy crappy. That's fine.
But otherwise, the first part of the week, everything was great. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It was just
a week.
Yeah, just a good normal week. I'm delving more into the Bible. Actually checking out the NLT and then showing people the Hawaiian Pigeon version.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How did I show you that one? When did I show that? That was a group, wasn't it?
It was before that, maybe 2 weeks before or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
dude, that's my favorite when I need to pick me up.
Well, it's like if you get a little tired of the monotonous reading of the Bible and you still want to be in the Bible, but you want to kind of laugh and giggle about it, go to the Hawaiian Pigeon. It's great.
It's hilarious. I think I have it here. I'll play it a little bit. Hopefully not get copyrighted.
Well, that and at work, they kept trying to get me to read it without going into an accent, and I could not.
You can't.
No.
All right, so this is John 16 in Hawaii Pigeon.
John chapter 16. I tell you guys this stuff already, because no good Bombay, you guys don't trust me no more. The Jew guys gonna throw you out of their churches. And even gonna get one time when whoever kill you guys gonna figure they stay do something good for God.
So
Yeah.
that's Hawaii pigeon.
Yeah, it's
I gotta
great.
change that so just in case I have my phone up with me during the conference.
You're
I'm not like the Jew guys.
I always thought that'd be funny. Like I was saying to Shawnee yesterday,
Yeah.
Pastor Frank should one day just start off reading from that and see what the audience does.
So my full plan, full disclosure, I'm buying him a Hawaii pigeon Bible because he died when I he like forced me to show him how to download. Oh, Brad Tinsky did that too, but no, he forced me how to like show him how to download that.
It's great. I loved it, honestly.
And so I think it's called the People's Bible or something like that. But it's hilarious. If you want to laugh but you still are a Christian, go look it up.
Well, it's interesting because that's how they speak in some of those island states and countries. That's just our normal. So for us, it's kind of funny because we're speaking proper English, which English is a weird, hard language as it
We're
is.
mutts, okay?
Yeah, it's a conglomerate of languages.
That's why we last so long. That is my rule. If I want a dog that's gonna last forever, buy a mutt.
Oh yeah,
Because they cannot die.
My Jack Russell, I think she's almost immortal for all the
She
stuff
might
she's
be.
done to herself.
She might be.
But gosh, I was just gonna say something. Okay, yeah, how our American language, American English anyway, we're a conglomerate, right? Well, I was working with a Russian at the last place I worked at, and he sneezed, and I just said Gesundheit, and then he looks at me, gets excited, and just starts rambling in German.
Gotcha.
It's like, dude, no, I don't speak it. That's a thing around here. Are they not doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Are they jumping the van?
He's going to camp this weekend, so all those kids are loading up, I think, and getting ready to go.
So my whole youth worship team is heading out. Should be heading out here pretty soon, but the van's not moved, and they just popped the hood, so kind of nervous. I'm gonna check that out really quick.
Is everything all right?
Yeah. We record on Fridays because I'm not as busy.
And I get off work at 9:30. Yeah, this is him not busy, having to go
Still.
run and check on people.
I had to turn my phone and my laptop into do not disturb mode.
Yeah, I generally don't have a lot of people messaging me.
That's not bad.
But if you're out there, you can message me whenever or on the email. I'll get alerts for that.
Email us. Comment.
I will talk to you.
He will. If you want to talk to me, check out our Instagram.
Yeah, he's in charge of the Instagram.
I am.
I've got the TikTok. I added you on Facebook.
Yeah,
to be one of
and
the
so we can
people.
both.
Yeah,
if
we
you
can
wanna
both
hit us
do
both.
that one. Email we both have.
You want to see how many email or how many Facebooks are on?
Oh, we're getting ready to jam out.
Oh.
I got something for Facebook. I'll have to listen to. Oh, might have been the one I was going to pull up.
That's the one you add. Let me see here. Bing. Oh, it's my
Ba-bing,
father-in-law's birthday. So.
Here are a few pages.
All of those, and then my own.
Okay.
All right, where were we?
So this is part of my week. It's one you just popped up.
Yeah.
You think we could be able to play that audio over?
It was on Facebook, right?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Yeah, of course.
So it's public. I think this is something some people need to hear. So this was a big part of my week that kind of blew me away.
Oh man, no joke. My laptop is hot.
Is it?
Yeah, but
It's
it's
good that we
good.
plugged it in. It was going to die if you didn't.
I hate that you.
I'm
brought that up.
paranoid about batteries and cell phones and things dying. Like the only thing that I have the battery lasts a long time on is that iPad. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a clip of something. I probably won't play the whole thing, but I think it's powerful.
Oh, I should be able to pull it up on here.
Can you?
Yeah, I try to get to it.
Will it play the audio?
Yeah, should.
Hopefully.
Save it.
If it'll play the audio, he's gonna pop it.
Is this my? Oh, this is the wrong one. Hang on. Wait, no, this is my right one, right? Nope, this is the wrong one.
This is by I Am Mike Todd. He's got to be a preacher.
He is.
Yeah.
He's. Oh, dude, you have never heard of Mike Todd?
No, he just popped up right on my Facebook reels.
I gotta think of this real quick. He is a huge pastor out of Oklahoma.
What's up with Oklahoma? We're like falling into that The
I
Help
don't
My
know.
Unbelief is Oklahoma.
Oklahoma
This
must
is
be.
Oklahoma. By the way, in about not next episode, but the following episode, we should be on with at minimum one of the hosts, hopefully
Yeah.
both of the hosts from the Help My Unbelief podcast.
Yeah, that's about to be exciting.
And if you haven't listened to them, go do it. It's very interesting.
Yes.
They're two Christians. One of them is kind of like Dalton, who's been in it for a lot longer than the other guy has. And yeah, they go back and forth and talk to anybody that's an unbeliever, basically. Just interview them and keep it real civil. I really enjoy their podcast.
Yeah. I think this is coming through.
Relationship, God's answer is seek the kingdom. I give you the relationship, by the way. What about my purpose? Seek the kingdom. Because when you seek the kingdom, I'll show you your identity. I'll give you a purpose. I'll surround you with the right people. And I'll put you in the place that it can happen. Everybody say, seek the kingdom. But what about these kids? I didn't have a father. I don't know how to raise these kids. I don't know how to be a kid of a father. Seek the kingdom. The answer to all worry, the answer to all stress. Jesus says, I'm going to give you one answer that fills in the blank for everything. Don't come to me talking about specifics and you haven't sought the kingdom. This is why some of your prayer requests have not gotten answered. Because God said you skipped the step. I came boldly to your throne of grace. And I made my Christmas list of all the things I want you to do before the end of 2023. He said, I see your list, but those are all things. And the church has done a bad job because we've told people to believe God for things instead of asking God to change your thinking. He said the things get thrown in and you seek first the kingdom.
Transformation Church. That's what I was thinking of.
Is it?
Transformation Church is his church.
Yeah, that is amazing. That's something that'll get you thinking.
Dude,
for sure.
he is... Honestly, he doesn't know, but he's one of my mentors because I watch so much of his stuff. Mike Todd, Tim Summers, Tim Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, Tim Ross, you have changed my life, and you don't even know.
I gotta look that up. I gotta look him up. You've mentioned him a few times.
Tim Ross, in the basement, the podcast. Any basement dwellers that watch us just know everything that's been going on in my life so good is because of his revelations. Oh my gosh. He has dude knows his word, and then also in the same aspect, can preach like I've never seen. I show my kids his stuff because I'm yo, this is what I'm learning. Here, take it. I wish I had this as a student. He just did a podcast on sex. Oh my gosh. I'm tempted to just tempted play it for my kids and be hey, this is what it is.
That's always a very awkward topic.
It's so weird.
I can totally wait. I don't want to get to that point with my son where it's buddy, we're going to talk about the birds and the bees.
Yeah. Well, in I've had parents ask me to talk to their kids, and I'm yo, guess what? That's not me. It's not my responsibility. But let's get back on track.
So part of my week, there was at one point where a family member of mine posted on Facebook, and I've tried to invite them to stuff here or when we went to the Carney conference.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got a lot of church hurt, and they posted on Facebook.
I understand that.
Talking about, I got it pulled up right here. I'm going to read it. It says, the mental breakdown gods are calling my name. I need to do something to appease them, change my hair, piercing, or 5, new tattoo.
Whoa.
Maybe all of the above. I need something soon. And it's I just wanted to, travel to where they are and just grab them and be you're something new is right freaking here. It doesn't need to be a church. It's no, I would almost say no. Yeah. I was just saying, seek the kingdom.
Yeah.
All your answers are here.
Yeah.
Everything you ever need to know is right in here.
Right.
And it's nuts because I'm when I'm going through it, I'm finding things that are just blowing me away that just answer everything. I don't know. It's weird that something written thousands of years ago is so relevant today.
It is the only book that I know of that is living and breathing.
Yeah. Honestly.
It's living and breathing.
And it's different. You can read the same passage multiple times throughout the year. It's going to mean something different every time.
The Christmas story. This last year, I had a new revelation on it from a pastor that, man, when he speaks, his name's Bill Byers. when he speaks, he has so much biblical knowledge, and like he is a history nerd. And I can call him a nerd because he knows it. Like, he is history driven, wants to know who, when, where, why. And like will take all that and then preach. He is the only one I know that could preach for 8 hours straight.
Holy
Not the only one. I
cow.
have a few pastors that I know that can do that. But like, so his first, right when he got into learning about Christianity, he was immediately sent to China. And he was preaching in China. And they don't care. They
That's
will
a little
literally
dangerous.
have 8-hour services with no care in the world. And so when he came to America to start preaching, they had to be like, hey, it's an hour. Like, keep that thing in an hour.
Or in some places just 30 minutes.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you can find the Holy Spirit in 5 minutes if you give him a chance. But no, so he preached on the Christmas story. And bro, like, had a full new revelation of the Christmas story. And I was like, what? I wish I'll find it on recording and I'll be able to share it a lot more in depth, but like, it was wild to me.
Huh.
Like, how can you take something that's been preached and preached and preached and preached and preached and find a new angle? Like, to me, that's true pastoralship. That's true discipleship.
Yeah.
Like, that guy he's not just taking what it says immediately. Like, he'll find 9 back doors to 1 front door of the Bible.
Huh.
Because there is, like, if you want to know more about the Bible, go get a study Bible. You're gonna get you're gonna get so much more information, and then guess what? When you're done with that study Bible, there's still 12 other editions to go read.
Oh, yeah. Or if you're like me, read something, want to know about it, then hyper fixate on that subject for quite a while and Google everything you can think of, watch all these videos, podcasts, everything on the one topic, and somehow become a mild expert in it.
Yeah.
That's that ADHD talking. That's what happens there. One thing I find interesting about the Chinese going to China to preach.
Yeah.
Imagine how much faith you have to go there right now to preach. They're killing Christians left and right. They're imprisoning them. But then you get the Chinese people. They're the ones that have become Christians. They're memorizing almost entire books. Sometimes they are memorizing entire books, and then they share it in their prisons.
Yep. So we're doing that for youth. I got to find a Bible, but I'm destroying the Bible for the use of the kingdom. But I'm ripping out a page. I have a couple Bibles. I'm going to do it too. But I'm ripping out a page of the Bible and then giving it to every small group leader and being like, okay, hey, here's what you're getting taught tonight. And we're all going to meet in office rooms around here. Lights are going to be off. And then, like, I have a certain few leaders I have picked, but they're going to walk in and take out one of the leaders. And then 20 minutes is going to go past, and they're going to walk in and take another leader out. And just go keep them keep them on the other side. Not actually kill them. We don't have that budget. We don't have that budget. But but yeah. And so then show the kids, like, hey, like, this is how quick and how often people get taken out in China in spots where they cannot preach.
Well,
this is how the word's preached.
If they find you with, like, say, just the New Testament, you can be killed right there on the spot. Your whole family annihilated. They're putting them in internment camps and basic concentration camps. They're doing it to not only Christians, though, too, Buddhists, Muslims, all of them.
Sad.
But
it's so sad.
It's very sad. And I feel bad for anyone that's not a Christian that's happening to over there because, Jesus, he said, I give you another commandment. That's basically to love everybody as I loved you.
Yeah. And so these people that are getting murdered for their faith are saying, I love you, though.
Yeah.
And then just kapow, gone. Isn't that wild?
It's nuts that that's still happening today.
Yeah. That is kind of crazy.
Because they're supposed to be a first world country, too, and yet that's still going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, we both got distracted. Ooh, squirrel.
Yeah.
Ooh, shiny.
My kids came back. They have my card, so they have to come back.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to call Nate about that, too.
Okay, so
my next question for you, Jake.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
I guess we don't know what questions we're asking each other, by the way.
This is good. Except for last week we did.
Yeah, last week we did. Not
what
this
did
week.
you take away from this week?
Like in general, or from Wednesday night,
What
or
did
from
you
church?
take away from this week?
Oh man, alive.
What is one thing that stuck out that you're like, okay, I needed that this week?
Okay, so this Wednesday we discussed the book of Esther.
Yeah.
In the children's church, and I actually went over that chapter probably 10 or so times at work to making sure I was ready. Because if you put on the Bible app and listen to it, it's only 35 minutes. That's as long as that book is. And you can take away from it where God puts you where you need to be so you can make a large impact or a very important impact on not just your life, but many other lives.
Yeah.
Because if you guys don't know what's going on in Esther, Esther was a Jew. She became Xerxes' queen. Yeah, Xerxes from Persia, the Persian Empire, became his queen. And then, was it Haman? Hated the Jewish people, and he was going to murder them all, basically. He got Xerxes to write a decree saying, on this date at this time...
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
On this date at this time, you can go and kill the Jews.
Yeah.
So Mordecai, who was Esther's cousin, the guy that raised her because her parents died and she got adopted into his family, basically told Esther, hey, we need help. You're the queen. And I know Xerxes doesn't know we're Jewish, but you have this influence. You can talk to the king about it.
Yeah.
And, need to take a breath every now and again, just going here. You need to talk to the king about it. And she's all like, oh, no, I'm scared, basically. If you go into his throne room and he doesn't lift his golden scepter up to you or whatnot, golden rod, you're put to death. That's just it. You're going to die.
Oof.
Well, so she said, okay, so I will do this, but you need to fast, and I'll fast too, which fasting the Jewish people then, that was like a form of kind of prayer or whatnot, worship, getting strength from God. So they did that. They fasted, and she went to Xerxes, and he raised his golden rod to her, so she wasn't put to death. She was good. And they had to invite him to a feast, invited Haman to a feast too. And he's like, yo, so basically, what do you want? What's going on? What's on your mind? She's like, come to a feast tomorrow, and I'll tell you. So Haman leaves all excited. I'm good. I'm blessed by the king. I'm the highest there is. And I need to learn to breathe.
Breathe when you talk.
Yeah. So eventually they come back for the feast the next morning, and she lays it all out for King Xerxes that she's Jewish. All my people are going to get killed, and he's all mad. Who wants to kill my queen? I love her. She's everything. And she says, this vile guy right here, Haman.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
I so lost there for a second.
Sorry. And, Xerxes immediately just irked like you wouldn't believe. He had to leave, go out to the garden, comes back, and Haman just threw himself basically on the queen. He knows he's going to die at this point. Save me, whatever. And Xerxes like, how dare you basically throw yourself at the queen in my presence and stuff.
Yeah.
So they end up impaling the guy on a 75-foot pole that he originally put up for Mordecai. 75-foot pole. But that wasn't the end of it. Yeah. Esther then said to the king, because he's like, what do you want? I'll give you half the kingdom if you want it. And she basically wanted it to revoke what Haman said about, this date, this time, kill the Jews. Well, he said, you got to remember what's been put in the king's name basically can't be pulled back. So what he did instead is he wrote a letter and distributed it everywhere saying that the Jewish people have the right to fight back. So the thing is, without Esther losing her parents, being taken in by her cousin Mordecai, she would never become queen, and she'd never been able to save her people. Yeah. So God will put you where you need to be sometimes long before you'll ever realize it.
It's scary, isn't it?
It's extremely scary because I've noticed that in my life. It's like things that happened to me when I was a little kid. Yeah. If that didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yeah. For real.
And it's nuts. So I think that's where I came out of this week big time with was, God will put you where you need to be. It might be the next minute you're alive, might have been decades ago.
Ooh.
And where your purpose is,
so
it's going to happen when it happens, and you're not going to know about it.
Preach it, Pastor. Preach it, Pastor.
I kept not breathing through that whole thing.
I noticed you got really red. No, it's all good. I like that. I like that a lot. One last question. What is one thing you did for your wife this week that either made her day, brought her enjoyment? Gotcha. Uh-oh. This might turn to a marriage podcast real quick. No, I'm kidding.
I know yesterday we've been trying to have kids, right?
Yeah.
And we've lost 2 over the past year and a half, which is very hard.
Oh, yeah. That's tough to walk through.
But there was somebody brought their baby in yesterday to her work, and she was texting me about it, and I'm like, I wish I could be there to hug you. Remember, I love you.
Yeah.
And I know that helped her out. That's just the only thing I think of. Is just when you're going through that kind of pain, I think for a female, it hits them harder than it does a guy.
Yeah.
Because, that life is growing inside them. And then you lose it. It's hard for me to. Well, I haven't cried really in front of her about that. It's like, because I'm always trying to be strong. You grow up, I'm the strong guy. Which goes back to your thing earlier. What has the world labeled you? I'm the strong guy.
Yep.
That's what I've always been labeled as. But I know in my car, in my truck, I've broke down. Yeah. Especially listening to worship songs.
Do you do the sit in your driveway?
Oh yeah.
I am a habitual sit in my driveway, and
I've sat there for an hour before.
Oh yeah.
Getting my head right.
Yep.
But no, it's like, so I'm thinking. I hopefully I made her happy with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell her I love her all the time, but when it's something like that, it's a little bit different of a meaning.
Yeah.
There's more to it.
I understand that.
Are you ready?
I am not. But go ahead.
It is now my questions for you, sir.
Gosh, I'm going to get...
First one. How was your Wednesday?
It was good. It was good, man. Got a lot of encouragement after the fact. I really needed it before. But I got a lot of encouragement after the fact of kind of what like we talked about last week of just walking through this new season with youth group. I was super discouraged. But yeah, it's not about numbers. I am going to praise God with the few, or literally how it says in the Bible, where 1 or 2 are gathered. Yeah. I just need one more person, and we're good. I have Freddie, so guess what? The Lord's coming no matter what. But
that guy can worship.
Oh, dude, if I ever lose Freddie, just know I will probably it'd be like Chloe leaving. Oh, that's how much I rely on Freddie, and I'm so scared for the day because I know it's going to happen. Where a church wakes up and finds him and goes, yeah, you're our worship pastor now. That's what I'm terrified of because I know what's going to happen because he has put in the work, and that kid is so smart. Oh my gosh. But where was I at? My Wednesday.
Your Wednesday.
It was good. So I needed a lot of encouragement afterwards of just I am again kind of realigning of why I'm here, what I'm doing this for, and so. That was awesome. The talks afterwards were great. I played a sermon from Tim Summers from Elevation Youth. Shout out. I love that guy. Another guy we'll never probably meet, but he has affected my life. Yeah. Super good. Talking about coming to your senses. A lot of kids need that. I got to lead worship, which was different because I have Freddie. I almost never have to lead worship on a Wednesday. Unless I want to. And me and Freddie didn't play anything. I played acoustic and sang, and Freddie played the egg shaker and sang. And so it was so good. I missed that style of worship, that broken down. We played I forget the songs, but we played them, and they were so good. I enjoyed my time during that. Yeah, that was my Wednesday.
I think that's awesome because then the kids will feel that more too. The more you're into it,
dude,
the more they'll get into it.
It sucks away any doubt in the room.
Yeah.
When I noticed when I'm worshiping and my leaders are worshiping, it sucks up any sort of doubt that's going through their mind or any sort of insecurity of if you see me how, like, I'm not tall, but I am wide, and I am not missable. Like, if you cannot not see me, and if you see me jumping around and throwing my hands up, getting down on the ground, like, you could do it too.
It's like, yeah, for us, I finally got to the point where I'm actually dancing the whole time during worship. Before, when I first started the children's ministry stuff, I was, I'm stiff, like, yeah, I'll sit here and sing to it. But no, now I'm finally dancing. Even if I don't know the moves.
Oh, yeah. Just as long as you're jumping around, that's all the kids care about.
Jumping around, dancing, because I actually got some of the 4th and 5th graders finally dancing and moving around too. The other boys that are just tough. It's like, guys,
learning about boy stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want them growing up, kind of how I grew up, where it's you got to be tough, and stiff, and keep all your emotions in. I'm hoping that maybe I can help show those guys let it out.
I think that's why you're in that ministry, just so you know. I really do. Because if I get boys in my ministry from, like, you guys that are already not broken or broken down, but, like, are understanding of the Holy Spirit and understanding of, like, why do we worship? What are we worshiping? How do we worship? Man, my job gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
I don't have to have sermon sessions over how many, like, why you need to worship. Where, like, we've hit this week. Oh, sorry, I'm stealing a little bit of your thunder.
That's fine, man.
I think we're shifting this year. And I think we're shifting back to where we had a super fun youth pastor. And then we had more of a structured, we're doing small groups, and that is our main focus. And now it's me. And so I'm trying to blend all of that together. Man, it is tough.
Dude, I was just gonna say, I think you're a mixture of both, honestly.
I want to be fun, but in the same sense, like, I vowed that these kids will be fed. I made sure that, like, I'm gonna stay up on my word so then they can. And so, like, that's where I'm kind of in a tough spot.
That's the same thing a father has to do with their own kids.
Oh yeah,
it's very tough to be the fun guy, but also you got to be the more serious one too.
Yeah.
But the whole children's ministry thing is like, I felt the need, and, like, was it Holly? She just asked Shawnee one day, "Hey, can you guys help?" And Shawnee comes home like, I kind of been feeling a pull towards youth, and it's like, okay, yeah, that was the opportunity given, yet I had to choose it. Going back to a couple podcasts ago, the door was put there, but I had to choose it my own free will, and I'm like, you know what, let's do it. But I have a feeling that that's not where I'm going to end up.
No,
I have a feeling I got to be there to learn.
Yep.
And build up to the point where I can do more.
Oh yeah.
And be a part of maybe the older youth's lives.
Oh yeah, bro, you already know. I already told Holly that I'm stealing you, the Tenskys, and the Lisa's for my conference because I need you guys.
Oh, I'm going to be there. I already plan on using vacation for it. I don't care. I will be there.
Any of you out there, send your kid to Rise Conference. Send your high school and middle school student. They're going to need it, I promise. There are some pastors that are coming that they're going to shake their little brain because they like mine.
Is Gerald still coming?
I got to text him, but
man, I hope so.
I do too. I hope he just comes. Like, I don't have a spot for him to preach, but, like, I hope he just shows up.
I bet you, though, if we're like, hey, what's his bucket? Couldn't be here right now. He'd jump right in.
Oh, 100%. He is my, Yep.
All right. Speaking of conferences,
yes,
we said we need to start plugging our church more.
Yes.
There's a Fearless Women's Conference coming up. If you're a female, a woman, you need to be here.
Hold up.
Yeah, I got it pulled up on my phone.
Share
right here.
Everything about it.
It's says here the Fearless Women's Conference is March 31st through April 2nd. Mm-hmm. I believe that Friday, which is March 31st, it starts at 7, and then Saturdays all day and Sundays mainly up to the church service.
Yes.
Yep. But if you go on register, it's all free. There will be childcare, so if you got little kids, bring them.
Yes.
There will be childcare. I think it is very important, and especially our city, we need to empower women.
Yep.
It's something you got to admit. I'm not part of the woke people, but you got to admit that women have been kind of put on the back burner, especially in our Midwestern culture.
Oh, 100%.
And I think it's very important that if you're a female, you go to this Fearless Women's Conference, because I watch some of the speakers that are going to be there that they named. some of her videos. They're good.
She's good.
Yeah.
Quality wise, we got to fix on it. Nancy James, contact me. Let's figure out some better quality for your videos.
So it says here, childcare available up to age 10.
Yeah. Yep. So if they're above age 10, Dad, step up.
Yeah, step in, dude.
Make sure your wife goes to this. You want your wife to go to this.
Yeah,
That was Pastor Teresa's like verbiage, and I fell in love with that. Like, you want your wife to go to this.
Yeah, because when they announced
locked
that
the
at
front
church, I immediately turned to my wife and
Yeah.
said, "You are going."
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think Chloe even had a chance. Like, I was like, "Hey, I signed you up."
So here's the two speakers that's shown here, or the special speaker is Nancy James
Yep.
with Triumph Ministries,
Yeah.
and the worship leader is it Bree?
Brianna or Brianna? Bree?
Just says
Bree Curran.
Yeah,
Bree
Bree
Curran is what her social media say.
with
She's gonna do
Encounter
worship with me.
Churches. Oh yeah,
Yeah. So they're the new pastors of Encounter Church. Her and her husband,
I
Anthony.
have no
I think
idea
his
where
name.
that's at.
It's in Dumas. It's
Oh,
the
in
Gordoas
Texas?
Church. Yeah.
Okay.
So we actually we hired Pastor Frank and Teresa, and which is a huge blessing. But
I love 'em.
they had to find pastors to take over. So Bree is actually a student of theirs, and just kind of she's traveled the world with them. She's done missionary work with them, and then her and her husband met in Ireland. I believe. If I'm wrong, please, Bree, reach out. But I believe the story goes they met in Ireland, fell in love, started a family, and then moved back to Texas, I believe. And so now they're in the Dumas area, going to be pastors there. And I'm super blessed to hopefully be able to meet them and learn from them this year. I get to play worship with them, actually. I think there's a couple sessions I'm doing guitar and a couple sessions I'm doing drummies.
Oh, I
So,
like the drums when you're
yo,
on them.
bang, bang, boom.
honestly. For me, drums and worship, they've got to be hitting hard. It's like when that drum's hitting hard, I'm more into it.
Oh,
To
dude.
be honest,
I wish I could get another seat. I'm getting squirreled back here. But I wish I could get another seat that has the hydraulic in it, because I'd jump up so much, and I'd hate. I would. Oh. And if
Okay.
it gave me bounce, scary. Go ahead.
Let's get back to our questions here. 'Cause
Yes.
I only asked, or is it my?
We're at
are you
45
asking me
minutes,
Or am
by
I
the way.
asking you?
Well, you're asking me.
Okay, so name an experience
Uh-oh.
where you felt like you were being told something by the Holy Spirit.
This week?
Anytime,
Oh,
your whole entire life, this week doesn't matter.
Oh.
45
week.
minutes.
Yeah, we're at 41 minutes already. This week alone, it was... This is for you. Super cryptic. But at that time, I was listening to podcast Tim Ross in the basement in Preston, I believe is the guy's name. I forget it. They're like super best friends. And they were talking about relationships outside of marriage. So they were talking about like, hey, like you need it. Like you need to find someone else that you could talk to besides just your wife. And challenged me a lot. Because like I have a lot of people that I see, that I talk to. I'm pretty outgoing. And so, yeah, that was the biggest moment for me, at least. Like I was praying about it, and he's like, yeah, no, this is for you. This isn't for your kids. And I was like, I don't like that, though. Because then I could grow. I won't grow. I just want to stay where I'm at. Just kidding. It's not
You
what we're
gotta
called to
keep growing.
do. You got to keep moving, because the second you stop growing, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah. Well, you know, your fingernails grow after you die.
Do they really?
Yeah, your fingernails and hair, all that grows.
Like it just continually grows?
Yeah, for like a few days or something like that.
Oh, that's wild.
It's nuts.
Collagen. Weird.
I've got something if you want me to say it for the Holy Spirit one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is going to go back to freshman year of high school, I believe.
Ooh.
After I blew my
Taking
knee,
time travel.
had surgery. I was
Yeah.
in a brace with my knee.
Yeah.
We just dropped David off, the guy we play with. We dropped him off at his house.
Okay.
And my sister was driving, and we were driving home,
Yeah.
gravel roads.
Oh, I remember this.
Did I tell you this
Yeah,
one?
we talked about this. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I haven't told the
The
podcast, so I'll
podcast,
tell
though.
you guys. And we popped over the hill on the maintainer. For those of you that don't know, if you're in a city of maintainer, they go out to the gravel roads,
Mm-hmm.
maintain the roads, make sure gravel's spread, that there's no huge potholes, all that.
Yeah.
And he piled all the gravel in the center of the road right on the other side of the hill.
Mm.
And it grabbed my sister's car's left front tire and flung us straight to the ditch. And it's weird because as soon as it happened, everything slowed down.
Oh, yeah. It always
Just straight up slowed down. We went in, hit the ditch. We're going about 50 miles an hour, by the way. Hit in the ditch. I remember the airbag just slowly opening up. It was super slow to me. I missed it. I hit my head on the windshield. I was wearing a seatbelt, which is a good thing because I probably would have been thrown out of the car and died. But my sister wasn't. And we ended up, after we hit head first in the ditch on the front end, we ended up rolling.
Yeah.
And according to the trooper's report that showed up, we bounced between two hills. And we ended up on 4 tires.
Wow.
Now, I ended up doing a speech from that. I'm going to kind of caveat away from it real quick. I ended up doing a speech on that to where I did the math. I used Allstate and a few other people's, I guess, say formulas.
Yeah.
And figured out every time my sister hit something inside that car, it was with over 12,000 pounds of force per square inch. Please wear your seatbelt. It's the only reason I'm alive, and she's lucky she's alive and not paralyzed.
Yeah.
Because it broke her back from the inside out. They said that's a rare break from where it was.
Yeah.
It's very hard to break that way. So
Wow.
she's real lucky. But once we landed on all 4 wheels, I was obviously out at this point. I came to, smelled smoke. I looked to my left. My sister wasn't there.
Yeah.
She was gone. I saw windows broken. And for some reason, I thought my nephew was with us. He was a baby at the time. So I'm freaking out and just in my seat going, I'm in shock, basically, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And I started figuring out, my nephew, because I love my nephews. And I kind of helped raise him for a little bit, it seemed like. I was the only father figure for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing distinctly, Jake, your nephew is not in the car. Your sister's in the back seat. The car is catching fire. Get her out. Straight up. Like, it wasn't an audible voice, but it was there.
That's wild.
It was there. And it still blows me away. I remember that whole thing. And I broke my door off, slammed into it, broke it off, and ripped the back door open and found my sister upside down in the back seat in a position to where she would have suffocated and died on her own blood if I didn't pull her out.
Gosh.
And I picked her up and carried her, I'd say easily 50 yards. Easily.
That's wild.
It's like, okay, so not only did I hear that, but I all of a sudden had all this strength. And you can say, oh, it was adrenaline. But it's got to be hard to bust open a door or rip a door off it from being outside of it.
Yeah.
Being a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy and all,
you're
but
a big
still.
boy. Yeah.
So that I have many experiences, and I've realized them now that I've.
What if you're Samson?
But I'm not that skinny guy with long hair.
I know. I wish.
But I've had many experiences, but that one definitely stands out to me because it was a life or death situation.
Yeah.
And something bad happened, and something I was freaking out about. All of a sudden, I got calmed and told exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I followed it.
That's awesome. That's the Holy Spirit, baby. Woo! Sorry, I yawned. I'm not crying. I should be crying at your story, but I'm not. I'm crying because I yawned.
I don't know if it's a crying story, but it's...
No, it's impactful.
And I want to put this out there. You don't always hear a voice or hear words or anything when the Holy Spirit comes and contacts you, but that was probably one of the few times that I remember sentences.
That's wild. I'm a firm believer that the Lord will not curse at me, but use other words.
Go to Ezekiel. Like I was texting you. Oh, man.
But no, like I feel like there's sometimes the Holy Spirit's like, hey, dummy.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Like sometimes I account that too. Like you get this feeling of like, you need to stop that. This is stupid. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? That might be the Holy Spirit talking to you.
Normally is. Especially when he's talking to me. Go ahead. What else you got? Is that the
last question?
Okay.
Because I've only asked 2 was, what is one thing you'd love to get rid of in your daily routine?
Oh, get rid of?
Yep, get rid of.
Ooh, man. Gosh, I wish I was like Jocko Wilkinson.
The Navy SEAL?
Oh, yeah.
Jocko.
You heard of his stuff?
I've listened to some of his podcasts.
Man is honestly, I think of creature like people that we keep in like. Okay, this is gonna sound super dumb, but like I think there's certain people that we keep behind glass, like like the break in case of emergency.
Yeah.
I think Jocko Wilkinson, David Goggins. What's his name? Follow him. He's from Texas. Super cool guy. What's his name? Tim Kennedy. Like those style of people are definitely in case of emergency break glass people.
Yeah.
And like I'm terrified of ever having to be. Sorry, my wife texted me. But I'm terrified of ever having to be in their way if something goes down.
Oh yeah.
Because like that's what I wish. I wish I was like Jocko Wilkinson. Like I wish I could wake up early. I wish I could. Yeah.
Dude, I've tried that after I was listening to his podcast. I'm like, I'm gonna wake up at 3:00 like him
I don't get enough
him
sleep.
And E.T., the hip hop preacher, they both wake up at 3:00. I can't do it.
I can't.
I'd get maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep if I did that. I only get 5 or 6 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my wife texted me and called me twice. So that's.
Uh-oh. Are you in trouble now?
No, I just had my phone on do not disturb.
So
Yeah.
let's move into happy crappy so we get rolling here.
I'm sorry.
You want me to go or you?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me
So-
your happy and your crappy.
Let's go with a happy
Yeah.
this week. Honestly, my Wednesday was happy. I love that.
Your Wednesday was?
Wednesday was my happy with the children's ministry.
Good.
I had such a great time with the kids, and it seems like they're kind of accepting me now and opening up a little more and actually
think
dance
they've
with me. Even
always
though
accepted you.
I've got to be like the stern person every now and again.
Yeah.
I think they're respecting me more, and I saw something that I was extremely proud of all the kids for. You know how we play Captain Midnight, right?
Mm-mm.
You don't know what Captain Midnight is?
I don't.
So Captain Midnight is where you got one person with a microphone across the room, and somebody yells out basically, "Hey, Captain Midnight, what time is it?" You just throw out a number like say it's 5:00. Well, then you got to count to 5. Well, that whole time they got to take steps. 5 steps trying to get to you.
I remember that.
Yeah. Wowzers.
Dang it.
Sorry,
I
podcast
knew that was going to
listeners.
happen.
But
Let me turn that back on real quick.
so it got to one point where they're doing that for a while. Then I saw something in them that I'm like, they stopped when they actually counted. Normally they would just keep going before the person hasn't turned around yet. I could keep moving.
Yeah.
Every one of them stopped on the actual correct count. I'm like, okay, that's some great integrity right there. I'm really proud of you guys for that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure they knew that I was really happy to see that.
Yeah.
My crappy for the week, I think my voice did something weird there, was this machine that I started working on yesterday, which was Thursday morning.
Okay.
And no matter what we have tried the past day and a half, we could not get this one.
This is the one you saved, right?
Aggravating. Huh?
This is the thing you saved? For your
Yeah,
happy
yeah. This it was a very minute thing. It's like it was a fault on this machine that I programmed into it.
Mm-hmm.
Without this fault, we will break what's called the ejector in this die set. And they only have a few on hand, so it's like we can't break them.
Yeah.
But that fault was failing and faulting all the time for no reason.
Did you rewrite it then?
Well, I rewrote programming, had another guy come in, look at it. Then another guy came in, and all three of us were standing there. We
Scratching
could not
heads.
get it to work.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And there's only 4 of us that do this in the whole factory.
So that's even way worse.
Yeah. And we changed what air cylinders did, programming different, new sensors,
Yeah.
kept happening. What we're hoping it's going to be is we got the mechanical guys out there on it that is just extremely, there's like, not extremely, but a little bit out of alignment on this thing that's got to move in and out.
Yeah.
And then that's causing our problem with the program because we have set points. And if I move one set point too far one direction,
Yep.
it won't fault out in time and stop the machine in time. And we'll break that.
Like
ejector.
XY axis kind of thing? Or like,
No, this piece of programming runs off our encoder.
oh, okay.
So it's got 0 to 255 points as this machine
okay.
rotates, and we're looking for a certain window
Yep,
of
yep.
that. So it's,
I thought you were meaning like moving in and out, back and forth.
well, this air cylinder is,
Yeah, okay.
where it's just we're activating it at a certain
Yeah.
time. But it's being a pain in the rear end.
I'm glad you stopped yourself.
Being a pain in the rear
It'll
end.
happen. It's going to happen. One of us are going to curse on accident.
Well, you know what? I found a verse on that,
Yeah.
and I got to find it again real quick.
Do it. While he's doing that, check us out on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, every single thing you could think of. We're on it.
I'm trying to get us there.
We might get on Twitter. I don't know. I don't want to use that.
I have a Twitter.
I honestly, I missed that window of learning how to Twitter.
Yeah.
I missed it completely. I had friends that were on it that were like, "This is awesome." I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like to read though. I like to see pictures. That's just a detail of my
I
life.
like pictures.
Yeah.
I love pictures.
I do too. They're so good.
How about you start off with your happy and crappy while I search for this? Because I screenshotted it
Yeah.
and I'm going to search for it.
No, go ahead. My happy of the week. Sorry, I got some stuff. My happy of the week. It was my birthday. That's fun. That's awesome. I'm super happy. I'm 27 now. I'm an old man.
Oh, you're not even 30 yet. Chill out.
I know, right? I made the
Squirrel?
Yeah, sorry. So there's reflections behind us, and so I'm like, someone's here, but no. So yeah, 27. It's crazy. It's crazy to me that I made it this far. Isn't that sad? A little crazy that I made it this far.
If you're not dead, then he's not done.
Come on. That's ooh. All right. I see you. But yeah, my crappy of the week. I can't be with my wife this weekend. That sucks. But it's for good things. I'm gonna go talk to some youth. What?
That sucks.
Oh yeah, no, not just like, oh, that sucks. No, like that sucks. Like
Yeah, it does.
yeah. I don't mind it. I don't like it. I don't like not being like, for some reason, like, I know I probably won't get any sleep this weekend, but like sleeping in the same bed with my wife, like that, I don't know if that's like soothed me or calms me down, but like, yeah, I probably won't get any sleep this weekend.
Yeah, I can't sleep in our bed without her.
No.
I will stay up for hours.
I can in
My
my
wife.
own bed.
My
Yeah,
wife.
his wife, not my wife. No, I can in my own. Stop it, Dalton. I can in my own bed. I cannot in like other beds.
Hey, speaking of your wife.
Speaking of my wife, look at that. You can come in.
You come in.
We're gonna cut it out,
Or will we?
or can we? We don't have to.
You want to be part of this? Oh, she's coming in.
Love you. I'll
That
see you
was
later.
Dalton's wife. That's going to
That
be
was
in
my
there.
wife.
That'll be part of the video.
See ya. I will. You'll be home when I get there. a minute. But yeah, where was I?
That you're going to be missing her this weekend.
Yes. It's gonna be weird. I think the only time was like 3 work trips that I had to go on where I couldn't take her. So that's
I mean, I get it. My wife's my person.
oh, dude.
I hate not being around her. She is literally my better half.
Yeah.
And
Well, because normally if she's not there, just know I'm about to forget so much stuff. There's
You mean
so
like,
much stuff.
This Friday, we were originally going to be part of the Help My Unbelief podcast.
This next Friday.
Is it next Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, next Friday. But he's going to be doing things.
I forgot that we had scheduled plans and we were not going to be in town.
That's why we have to consult our wives whenever we're trying to plan anything.
And so I apologize to the Help My Unbelief podcast. It is completely my fault. My fault only. I messed that up.
It's all gravy, though.
But hey,
It's all gravy.
it's going to be okay.
Okay. What were we?
You had the
Oh, that
question.
was your
That was my
crappy.
question. That was my crappy. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the whole, like earlier, I stopped myself from saying something kind of
Yeah.
foul or bad,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
said
yeah.
there was a verse that popped up on the Bible app.
Yeah.
I don't know if they send the same verse out to everybody.
Verse of the
or
day?
if it's, yeah, it was a verse of the day.
I mean,
It was from
they
Ephesians.
would.
It was chapter 4:29.
Ooh.
And I've been kind of trying to make this my own goal. It's extremely hard, especially working in a factory and shop environment.
I feel that.
But as Ephesians 4:29 says, don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. So I've been trying to make it my own personal goal over the past couple months to stop cussing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've brought it down a lot, but it is very hard.
Oh.
And especially in our culture where it's normal.
Oh, yeah.
You hear it everywhere.
I I get it. There's some times where I'll get heated. I'm like, this mother, no. But it's tough. I think that's my toughest thing that I ever battle with. That was probably the toughest battle.
Oh, the cursing.
The cursing. And there's still times where I'll get hit. I'm like, son of a buck.
Son of a buckaroo.
I'll tell people to shut the fox up now. The fox, Fox, not the other word that you thought I said.
That hurt worse than a butt cheek on a stick.
Oh, dude. Okay. My favorite is the, was it, I think a gum commercial. That you lint liquor.
Oh, that just
You
popped up on my
Kiwi queen.
Facebook yesterday.
Oh, yeah. That's
That exact one. I love that one.
I love those.
Dirty Mouth cleaned it up with Orbits.
Orbits. Yes, Orbits.
Those old Orbits commercials. Those are great. I
Yeah,
love them
man.
all.
All right. We're an hour in. We better
Okay, we better
start
get to our
getting some meat.
topic, So, like I talked to you Wednesday night,
Yes.
I felt compelled that we need to talk about kind of forgiveness and forgiving others. I was supposed to go through kind of on my own. We didn't decide. I was supposed to go through and write scriptures down and all this, so I can, be more, like this verse of the Bible, this verse of the Bible. But when I go through the Bible, I tend to remember more what I should have learned from it, or kind of the gist of what happened. So, one big thing I kind of wrote. Let's see. Okay, first story. I'm going to tell a couple stories.
Go ahead.
First one I wrote down here in our notes: story of my ex stepdad.
Oh, yeah. I saw that and I was going to ask.
When I was, probably would have been freshman year too, because my leg, I was in a brace at the time. Now, my mom is disabled. She never used to be until a doctor took a bunch of bone out of her shoulder. That's a whole nother deal. But because of that, she's been disabled ever since.
Sheesh.
And for some reason, after I blew my knee, him and I were, him and I were down at the burn pit, because we're out in the country. Everybody burns their trash basically in like a barrel.
Yeah.
We were there with shovels, get ready to stir it and stuff. And he just starts like kind of going off on me and yelling at me. Also now, like yelling, not talking like I am now, saying, "Oh, now you know how it feels, what your mom goes through every day, yada, yada, yada." And just going off like that. And a whole bunch of other things happened with him that even after him and my mom got divorced, I just hated the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I hated him to the point where I wanted to do some very bad things to him.
Yeah.
Very bad things. Like, if it wasn't for my sister, I'd probably be in jail. I'm glad I'm not that person anymore. But, so we went with my wife's friend to a church service here in town. They were doing it at I forget what hotel it was. It's one where they're supposed to make decent waffles and stuff, but at least that's what the commercials always showed when I was younger, that they made waffles. Their breakfast actually sucks. Machines. But I wish I had a hotel waffle machine. I would love that. But I don't remember exactly what was being preached about that day. It was kind of similar to our church. From what I was told, they kind of like a few people that were used to go to this church a lot.
Oh, Efree?
Then they started their own.
Efree?
I don't know if it was the Efree
or
church.
Destiny.
That sounds almost right, because they didn't have a place for a while and they were doing it at the hotel.
I think it's Destiny.
And there's something that they were preaching about that day that I got kind of overwhelmed. And it's like, I need to call him right now. And I did. And I told him I forgive him. And I'm pretty sure I was crying as I said that. And I know he started crying because I'm pretty sure he knew what he did.
Oh, yeah.
And he knew it was wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And our relationship, we used to be where he was the father figure, to where we did fishing. We went hunting, all that stuff. And then he strayed away. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure I caught him like cheating over the webcam one day, cheating on my mom. And it just all went straight downhill after that.
Yeah.
So it's like this guy, he was supposed to be my dad.
Yeah.
I was very hurt by it.
Yeah.
And I told him I forgave him. And that was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I don't know if that was the Holy Spirit that came over me. My guess is yes.
Oh, yeah.
At that time. And it's something I'm glad happened, because I don't hate the guy anymore. I've talked to him since. He's my table, my work table in my shop to the left of my wood stove. He gave me that. My
Very
well,
nice
now
gift.
it's Shawnee's vest, motorcycle vest that was
riding vest.
his stepdad's,
Wow.
and we gave that to us. So it's like we've got a better relationship now for sure. But I hate that I hated him the way I did. There was a lot of hurt there, but through the Holy Spirit, it was healed.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, that's me and my stepdad now. Of like, I'm to the point where I don't call my stepdad or like by his name. Like that was me like I'm appalled by that jerk that was in high school. Like that was me. I was that jerk. But no, like our relationship now is way, way, way better. Speaking of that, he called me twice and I haven't responded. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry about that.
Does he
I know.
watch or listen?
No, but
Well, he should.
he better. But no, I gotta call him back. We literally live 3 miles apart. I should probably just call him back or go over to his house. But their house, my parents' house. But yeah, no, I think there was a point in my life with the Holy Spirit of like, this is a man that stepped into your life, that tried his best. Like, he's not your daddy. He's not your real daddy. You need to start acting like he is, though. He's trying. He's trying. Like, did my dad fish? No. Did my dad hunt? No. I had to learn that stuff on my own. That's fine. He taught me a lot more. Like, that man gave me my work ethic.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't run. If I wouldn't learn from him how to run for, like, 24 hours, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Like, my work ethic got me to where I am now. And, like, putting in the work, like, if there's daylight, you better be working. And if there's moonlight, that's enough daylight. Keep going.
Yeah.
Like, that, I have that ingrained in my brain now of, like, when he used to wake me up at, like, 6 a.m. He's like, hey, you're burning daylight. Let's go. And so for me, like, that translates into what I do now. Like, am I the first person in this office every day? No. But I'm more than likely the last person to leave this office.
Yeah.
More times than often. But, I mean, catch
Or
me
you're
the
in
morning.
here on a Friday morning with me.
Yeah. Or, I mean, there's weekends. Like, if my wife's working, normally I'll come in. But more than likely, if she's doing something, I'm here. It's just there's always more to do. There's always more to give. But, like, I understand why everybody else is in the office. Like, I'm not blessed yet with kids. So I don't have that need to spend time on that. And so for, like, Holly, I'm so glad that she does. Like, her and her family are tight. I want that for my kids when that happens. Like, Jeff and Joe, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I
want
hope
her
I
cookie
have
recipes.
Oh,
Sorry.
Same.
Oh,
Same.
man. Best cookies you've ever had in
Yes,
your life.
she can bake and cook. She's amazing. But no, like, I want their relationship with their kids they have.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had that. Like, seeing Nate and Georgia. Cutest baby ever. Cutest baby ever.
Yeah.
Like,
see
I
his
want that.
clips on
Hope,
Facebook.
Hope and Justin, her kids. Like, I hope and pray. That's my relationship with my kids. It's like what they modeled for me. But for now, I don't have that responsibility, so I'm going to work. I'm going to do extra in the office because I know that's how I can help them too.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
If they don't have to worry about like what I'm doing, that takes a load off of them because they have a lot of stuff to do here.
Yep. Like how you brought up, he didn't do the hunting and fishing and all that.
Yeah.
I do, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a mechanical guy, and
Yeah.
I do woodworking and all that. If it wasn't for my ex stepdad, I probably would not have learned any of that.
Oh, dude, that's how I learned how to weld.
That
Like-
it's like I go back to the story of Esther, where you're going to get put, even if it's hard
Yep.
times.
Yep.
You're going to learn something that's going to make you who you are. And I hated this guy, but I wouldn't be who I am today also without him.
Yes, I have a saying when you're ready.
Go ahead, man.
Hard times make hard people. Hard
Yep.
people make easy times. Easy
Yep.
times make easy people. Easy people make hard times. And it's a perpetual cycle. But I learned from a hard man. Like, he was tough. My stepdad was tough. I've seen him with a broken jaw, broken hip, going back to work. Like, weeks after getting all fixed up. Like, dude's tough. Like, when we're a kid, I think that's model of, like, how tough our dad was. Like, was my dad always it's funny now seeing like it's funny seeing our family together, all together, because like if you look at my stepdad compared to all of us boys, and like my parents never made kids together, and so like you look at us now, like we all fit, except for my stepdad. He's so tiny. Like he's not a large man by any means, but growing up, he was the toughest person I knew. And then, like, I think that translates into like now where like I see my stepdad, and like there's things that me and my brothers like lift and move and do that like he can't. I'm like, man, where did that same dude go? Like he's the same guy, but I'm like, I thought like he was like tough, strong as nails, and then he does it and then tries to throw something out almost. And so it's like, wait, no, like he was in that spot where we are now. He's left that spot. He's now moved into wisdom. From strength and wisdom, he's moved to wisdom. And it's like, no, wait, he has 4 boys that he built to be tanks.
Yeah.
Like, no, he has 4 of us? Yeah. 4 of us. 5 of us. 4. I'm the youngest of 5. Yeah, there's 5 boys that I'm the smallest. No, Matt would be, technically. But I'm like the tiniest. Like, we're all stout boys.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, no, like there's a lesson there of like, I know we weren't easy. I know we were tough. We were tough to deal with. Like, I'm blessed to have in my life.
Yeah.
Does he follow the Lord and walk with the Lord every day? No. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is give them an opportunity to. And if he can see what he's doing, what God's doing in my life, and that spark interest, like I know there's an interest there. I know he wants to come to church. I know he wants to change around. It's just on his timing.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, rabbit hole.
And I guess the thing I want to get across, if I was at the point where I hated my ex-stepdad so much, I was willing to do something that would have landed me in jail for probably the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I came to the point of forgiveness and realized all the things that I've become because of him.
Mm-hmm.
All the things that I'm actually good, like that are good because of him. If you're having issues with that in your lives, start looking past the hate.
Yeah.
There's good there. Trust me.
There are more flowers in the valley than there are on the mountaintop.
Yeah, that's right.
There is more food in the valley.
And I'm not going to say your hurt isn't justified. It totally is. But for your sake, if you can come to it, forgive them.
Yeah.
Go to the Bible, go to church, talk to people about it. Yeah, quit carrying it.
Quit carrying that baggage.
It's beating you down. It's making you into a person that you do not want to be.
Yeah.
Because I know from that day after I forgave him, I started becoming a better person.
Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of hate and heaviness lifted off my shoulders.
There's a sermon there. That'll preach.
I'm sure you could probably find one on Google.
Oh, dude, there's a Mike Todd one that I will refer anybody to, where he walks around with a bunch of dodgeballs, and then like people have these ping pong balls and they're throwing it at him, and like he's supposed to be catching them because that's the fence. Like he's catching a fence, and he's like, y'all look like this. He's like, you don't see that, but we all see that. When you're walking around with a fence, hurt, struggles that aren't from the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what you look like. You look crazy, but yet you sit in it. Yet you stay in it. And it's like, yo, that's tough. That's understandable.
Very.
But yeah.
It changes you big time.
Yeah.
So my second story, so by the way, I'm sorry I'm getting so
deep,
personal and deep, I
that's
guess.
Fine.
But that's how we're going to be sometimes on this podcast. It's not going to be all laughs and ADHD. It's
come on.
Sometimes we're going to get vulnerable. So the second one is the story of my brother.
Yeah.
Now, growing up, him and I best of buds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the movie Fight Club came out. We had to act like Fight Club. Took our mattresses down, put them on the floor, and fought each other for fun.
Come on.
Did that with our friends too, and like we went everywhere together, bike riding, everything.
Yeah.
So at one point, he's got mental illness and issues with drugs.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's not a good combo.
my mom had to give him over to the state
Yeah.
because she couldn't provide him the care he needed.
That's tough.
Yeah, and I hated my mom for a while for it, I think. But,
Yeah.
you know, I understand now that I'm older.
But I mean, that is wisdom on her part.
Yeah. It had been hard, though.
Oh,
I couldn't imagine making that choice.
That's not an easy choice.
It's crazy.
She's tough.
But we both, I guess, we grew up without our dads. We have different fathers.
Yeah.
My last memory of mine was when I was 3 and he was in a hospital bed, hooked up to tubes because he overdosed.
Mm.
I don't know his last memory of his father, but I know it can't be good.
Yeah.
Because from the stories I've been told, he was a horrible man.
Mm.
I mean, when I think my mom was pregnant with him, he dumped a pot of boiling water on my mom. So my family, we've been through hell.
Yeah.
But
whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot. I have a lot of stories that I usually don't tell people because I don't want them feeling bad for me.
No, I understand that.
You know what I mean? But so let's fast forward to our adulthood. You know, him and I best friends.
Mm-hmm.
We both didn't have dads, and we went
Yeah.
through abuses on us and
Yeah.
being poor, all that, and seeing what drugs do to people.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the reason he's fell into drugs in his adult life is it was self-medicating.
Yeah.
With a mental illness. Well, recently he's in jail right now.
Yep. Yep.
And the reason he's back in jail is because he fell back into drugs after getting away from him, from serving time in prison.
Mm-hmm.
He's in prison, sorry, not jail. There's a difference. And he was doing great with his daughters. He's got a few daughters, and he lost a kid too, but he was being a great father. I was proud of him.
Yeah.
And then he got to the idea of he needed more money, I think.
Mm.
And the easy way to do that, the fast way to do that was start selling again.
Yep.
So he started selling again, and we kind of noticed differences. Like, I don't think we knew he was selling again, but we noticed something was going different.
Yeah.
And he was changing, and he was using again.
Mm.
And he eventually chose the drugs over his children.
Dang.
And I was extremely mad at him for that. It's like, how dare you do what our fathers did to us?
Yeah.
How dare you? I mean, I was like, I disown you. You are no longer my brother.
Oof.
And it just, I was so mad. And it's like, you abandoned your kids, chose drugs over your kids, chose easy money.
Yeah.
And then wound up in prison. And these kids are growing up without their father.
Knowing what he did.
Knowing what he did.
Ugh.
Thankfully, their mother got out of it because he pulled her into it. She chose the drugs over kids too, but I think she's gotten help and she's getting back to her kids.
Wow.
I pray to God that it stays that way, that she's going that way. But I was reading through, I can't remember the Bible, the verse, the chapter in the Bible or the verse, but I remember it was either, gosh, who was it? Peter or somebody along those lines. That's mentioned a lot. And he was having a discussion with Jesus about forgiveness. And at this time, this was something that's really bothering me. How I felt towards my brother.
Yeah.
He's like, how many times should I forgive my brother? 7 times? And Jesus said, no, 77 times. So basically, as long as they come to you for forgiveness, you should forgive them.
It was Peter.
Peter?
Yep.
So I was right then.
What verses, man?
I was either going to say Peter or Simon. I think I went with Peter. But it's like that kind of spoke to me like, dude, forgive your brother. Even though he did what he did, this wasn't to you per se. Yeah. This was to his own kids. And I need to figure out how to get involved in their lives more, but it's hard when they live far away.
It is.
And it's like, I feel bad with my own nephews for that too, because they live 45 minutes to an hour away, and I'm so busy over here all the time that it's hard to get that direction. But no, it's like, I was so mad at him, and I finally came to the realization that, no, I do forgive my brother for what he did. And it was a couple days ago driving home. Yeah. I was praying, and for me, when you use Yahweh's name and Yeshua's name in the old language, I guess, because we don't say Yeshua anymore for the most part. It's Jesus in the English translation.
Yeah.
To me, that is power, when you use their names more. And I was praying over and over again for my brother, asking Yahweh's help, asking for them to give him a burning bush.
Yeah.
I want him to have that burning bush experience. Not like physically, boom, there's a bush burning. If that's what happens, cool. But I want something life-changing to hit him.
Yeah, and it did.
For my brother, are you talking? I don't know if it's happened yet. I can't get a hold of him.
True. That's the tough part, is watching from the outside of people's burning bush moments.
Yeah.
Is this the moment? I don't know.
I hope my brother has a burning
faithful.
bush moment.
Yeah.
I'm praying for it. I want it to happen because I want his life to change.
Yeah.
At one point, I remember my mom told me that he told her he was going to this church in Kearney before he fell real deep into it, into the drugs. So I'm hoping that it comes back.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I'm guessing you pulled it up.
I did. It's the parable of the unforgiving debtor. Then Peter came to him and asked the Lord, how often should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times? No, not 7 times, Jesus replied, but 77 times. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven can be compared to a king who decided to bring his accountant up to date with servants who had borrowed money from him. It just goes in the parable of like people that he's given the people like, oh, here's 10, here's that.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And that's the NLT version, right?
Huh?
That you're reading from the NLT.
Yes, this is NLT version. Sorry.
See, when I
guys.
read the NIV, it said my brother. How many times should I forgive my brother?
Yeah.
So apparently, at that time, that was the version I needed to read because I needed to get over my own butt hurt.
Yep.
On that.
Yep. Ooh, that's not easy, huh?
No, it's
Dude,
not. It's hard.
Since we're on the forgiveness task, man. Like I said, stepdad earlier. Yeah, my dad walked away when I was super young, and I've had a couple kids come up to me and talk to me about it. And they're like, so how do you bring your dad back into your life? And I was like, well, kiddo, he hasn't made the choice yet. I was like, I cannot make him choose to want to be with me or choose to want to be a father again. But what my kind of process is now, where it took years of therapy. Thank you to my therapist. And then years of relationship with other guys, of some men that needed to walk in my life and really push me to become a man. And it wasn't just one. I don't know. I don't understand how people can be dad in the single figure. Like, that is a strong man if their kid doesn't need anybody else in their life.
Yeah.
That is a strong man. It took, Chris, Nate, other Chris, Jay. Well, just easy number, 12. 12 guys in my life that I, really learned from. Really learned from to be a man. And I don't get how people can do that. It takes a village. It literally takes a village to raise somebody. But
I think I finally became a man at basic training.
Yeah.
Honestly, and my drill sergeant Pugh, doubt you'll ever see this, but if you're out there, I love you, man, and I wish I could get in contact with you.
Yeah.
He was like a father to me.
Mm.
He straight up saved my life one day when I had a heat stroke.
Really?
Yeah, we came back from doing not combatives, bayonet training, and it was a 10-mile ruck to where we were going. And I, being the idiot little private, drank 10 MRE cappuccinos, and those are loaded with caffeine. So you think about,
how did you get 10?
Because nobody else is drinking. I'm like, man, these are delicious. I'll drink them all.
Gosh.
And it was Fort Sill, Oklahoma, during the middle of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Super muggy, super hot.
God.
Marching back, and I had a heat stroke.
I can just see it now.
Yeah. To where I could have died if it wasn't for this guy. Like, one drill sergeant grabbed 2 soldiers, told them, hey, go put him in the shower, cool him off. He's just hot. Well,
that would put you
apparently,
into shock.
yeah, I went into seizures.
Yeah.
Straight up seizures, and my drill sergeant found me. I imagine he wanted to hit that other drill sergeant for telling those
probably.
kids to do that. and he carried me down 4 flights of stairs, and he maybe would come up to my shoulder now.
Oh my gosh.
And he carried me down, hauled butt to the hospital,
Mm.
and saved my life that day.
Wow.
And I remember as I was leaving to go to the airport to leave basic training, he actually came out of his offices and watched me leave. And it's like,
Wow.
I'm in the van going to the airport, and I started crying. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, soldier tears, you know, where just stern face, you got a tear coming down. But I wish I could meet that man again and shake his hand or give him a hug.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure
Ugh.
that's where I learned how to become a man, was from my drill sergeants.
Yeah.
And from my peers that were older than me, because I was 17 when I went to basic training.
That's
But,
crazy, man.
Yeah, it's,
Wow.
you know, I had some other thought, but I went a completely different direction.
No,
I
it's
can't
okay,
remember
man.
what I thought about.
But I mean, that's in the other fact of like kids have asked me like, how does he walk back into my life now?
Oh, I remember.
And I'm like, yo, that's not easy, because now I have a family that I have to look after and
Yeah.
protect. And that guy that brought years of doubt, self-doubt, questioning, anguish, like there was so much in my life. I'm sorry, slowly dying inside. But but no, there was like so much things in my life that I had to work through because of what he did, to where now I don't know who he is. And that was the crazy fact that like I know we've been in the same apparently building together, and I in a million years, if he's in a lineup, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Maybe because like I'm supposed to look like him, but
I've seen a picture of you and your mom together, and I think you look a lot like
yeah,
your mom,
I definitely look at
honestly.
my mama. She's awesome. But that's another thing. If you're a single mom, you're doing great.
You're an amazing person.
Yeah, you're doing great. That your kids probably don't see it right now, but
They will.
they will, 100%. But back to my father, a real father. Yeah, I had to work through that process because I know it will probably happen one day, and if it doesn't, man, I've worked for nothing. That's okay, because I'm still seeking the kingdom. But I have a process of how I believe he can re-enter that atmosphere of being a dad in my life. I don't know if he'll ever be able to, but like there's boundaries in my life now set up to where when he does come back, there's a certain boundary that I can't allow him to cross.
Yeah.
And when I set that, like that's me setting that and me having to work through, okay, like, can I really let him in this aspect of my life? I don't know. And so, yeah.
I really wish I had therapy when I was younger.
Bro.
I have such a distrust in people
Yeah.
that I just can't go to a therapist. And part of the reason I distrust therapists so much is my mom did put me with a therapist at one time, and all she did was chew me out.
Yeah.
All she would do is just chew me out like I was this bad, horrible kid. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was a kid at the time.
Now that you're an adult, you get
It might be a little different,
it's
but
a ton different.
and there's something I feel guilty of is I have a chance to actually reconnect with my dad.
Mm.
And that happened in high school because I was telling him, I was like, you know, I kind of want to know him
Yeah.
and know who he is at least. But the issue is he's got the mental capacity, from what I've been told and from talking to him on the phone, of like an elementary school kid,
Oof.
3rd grader, basically.
Why so?
The overdose messed
Oh,
him up
really?
so bad.
You're a real dad. This is
My
what we're
real
talking about.
father.
Okay. Okay.
My real dad. Not my real father. For me, my father is God, obviously.
Yeah.
But
100%.
my biological father.
There you go. That's the
That's
word
a
I
good
wanted to
term
use.
for it. I know where he's at, but
Yeah.
his sister's got custody of him. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
It's like I know where I can go to talk to him or try
Yeah.
to connect, but after I tried at one point,
Yeah.
it's just I didn't feel it anymore.
Mm.
And then I feel bad about that because there's so many people that are like, I don't know my dad, I've never met him. I'd love to
Yeah.
know him, but it's like I had the chance.
Mm-hmm.
But after the first few contacts, I turned it down.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad about that, honestly. And I don't, for all you guys that don't know your dads, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I have the chance to make contact and make, I don't know, I wouldn't say make amends. I don't know if that could ever happen, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I can talk to him. And I struggle with it too, because the Bible says, honor thy father and thy mother.
100%. But also it says in the same Bible that when you get married, you have to leave your father and mother.
Yeah.
And I don't know to what extent. I don't know. But, I mean, for me, and like, yeah, me and my parents have, my mom and my stepdad, like, we have a pretty good relationship. I see him. I see Chloe's parents. Like, we see each other. We talk to each other. But, man, I don't think I'll ever have the same relationship as when I was living with them. It just probably will never happen. Solely on the fact of I have to look after a whole nother family. And so if I focus on what they're doing, then I'm losing it with my wife.
Yeah.
And so like I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing it right with my wife first. And whenever we have kids, like I gotta make sure that I'm doing it right with my kids. And like I listened to a lot of podcasts, but I heard this and loved it. But it was a man that spends time in his secret place changes the whole outcome of his household. So like what I'm doing in private helps what I'm doing inside my home.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about with my wife, what I'm asking her to do. And like what really shook me is I'm getting prepared to do a wedding. And I just looked back on some old notes and had this verse in there of like women should submit to their husbands. But like just a few lines down, husbands better be ready to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, put down your life for your family. Yeah. It says that wives should submit to their husbands. You gotta die, kiddo. I'd rather just have to submit. No, you gotta die. Die to yourself.
And as a husband, you better be fully submitted to God.
Yeah.
And as an example
Yep.
You got to be a godly example for your wife to ever submit to you. And it's not a submitting as she's your slave now.
No.
If you ever do that to her, you're wrong.
You're in the wrong game.
Submitting on that aspect is totally something different.
Oh yeah. I think with how we adapted it, or how it was sought after and adapted in the times before us, that's what it was thought of. Like, oh no, the wife has to do everything of the household. No, get your booty cheeks out of that lazy boy and go wash some dishes.
Yeah.
Get your butt off your Xbox or your video games or your cell phone. Go love on your wife. Put your phone down for an hour and just love on your wife. See how your relationship changes.
Yep.
Woo! Am I preaching? Because I'm after it.
Well, you better be.
But like that's the whole aspect. Like man. If you are young and married and you are not giving time to your wife how she needs it, you better figure it out now.
Yeah.
Because in 20 years when she's bitter because you chose to play your video games or you chose to spend time how you want to spend time with her, good luck. It's going to be a tough road with therapy, with pastors involved, possible divorce involved. Shake it up when you're young. Learn young. And so when you're older, marriage is easy. I'm only 3 years into this thing with marriage. I am not an expert. I will never claim to be an expert about anything. But what I do know is these biblical foundations for my wife and me. I'm going to follow. I'm going to give her time. I'm going to love her how she needs to be loved. How her love language is. Whatever it is. For her, it's physical touch and time. Quality time.
Yeah.
Not just time. For me, I'm pretty basic. It's just time.
Yep.
We could literally be sitting on the couch 2 cushions away, and I am in complete and utter bliss.
Yep.
But for her, like, if she could literally open up my skin and crawl inside of it, and like, that's how close she wants to be to me. And for me, like, I am not that way. I don't like that. But I know that's what gives her life and what kind of refuels her. So I'm going to put my crud away and help out my wife.
Yeah.
Because that's how she needs to be loved.
Honestly, I think Shawnee's basically the same way. For me, if she's in the same room with me,
Yeah.
I'm happy camper.
Same. If she's in the same building as me,
Yeah.
like I spent my birthday, it's kind of sad. I spent my birthday working here at the church, and she was here almost all day. Well, she was here the whole day. Yeah, whole day. And she was in the conference room, and I was in my office, and like I was in bliss because I was like, I know where she's at. Like, we're good. She's here. That's all that mattered.
It's something I want to put across to all you newly or getting married people.
Yeah.
You need to understand that I saw something like this. It was on a Facebook reel today
Mm-hmm.
where the guy was saying, you need to understand that your wife or husband, your spouse, is not going to be everything that you want.
No.
And God is going to put who needs to be in your life
Yep.
as your spouse, where there's going to be things that they're absolutely not going to be what you want and you're going to have troubles with, but you need to grow in that area.
That's where we have friendships for.
Yeah. And if you had a perfect spouse, I guess, you need to have some kind of adversity there because you get bored of perfection.
I don't think you can achieve perfection.
You can't-
There's not a perfect marriage out there.
No.
Because guess what? Miscommunication's a thing.
Yep.
I've been in the same room speaking to my wife and still miscommunicated what I needed to do.
Dude, I do it all the time. And
I do
mainly
it
my
every
emotions
day.
are messing me over.
Oh, yeah.
Messing me up.
Or like, we are, again, this is two different people coming together as one. Yeah, we're not the Holy Spirit where there's three in one. It's not just like that and it works.
Yeah.
We are growing in its work. We are actively working in a relationship. Because if I didn't, she'd just be a best friend that lived with me.
Yeah. Well, then they mentioned they're like if you don't marry somebody that you're going to be able to grow with, you're just going to eventually be 20 years together and business partners and not caring about each other at
Yep.
all. I know
Have
I
the
don't
same
want
account.
that with my wife.
Nope.
And we've been together over 10 years now, and it doesn't feel that way, honestly. It feels like we just got married and I was in my cowboy hat dancing on that dance floor. But
Yeah.
there's going to be struggles.
Yep.
It's not going to be easy. Whoever tells you that marriage is perfect, it's
Don't
dumb.
ever
Don't
listen to
listen to that. It is work.
But don't get me wrong. There are
love
some
it.
beautiful, beautiful things that come out of marriage. There are.
I wouldn't want to be unmarried at all. I don't know what I would do without
Gosh.
my wife. I love her so much, and without her, I don't know who I'd be, where I'd be.
I'd be dead.
She completes everything that I am.
Oh, yeah. I'd be dead. I'd literally be dead. Because I know if I didn't have a wife, I'd go, travel the world. And I shouldn't. I should not be left alone in countries alone. Ever. And especially without my wife.
Yeah, I know without my wife, originally my plan when I was joining the service, if I didn't have her, I had a lot of depression issues back then.
You had your sad boy days.
Yeah, but without her, I think I was going to get to the point where I probably would have gone and volunteered for as many deployments as possible. And I would have been totally happy just dying in that.
Yeah.
Because, then everybody back home would be like, oh, this was this warrior that served his country. We're all proud of him. When in all reality, at that point, I was so depressed, I did want to die.
Mm-hmm. And there was no better way to get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oof.
That's I can go on that one for a while longer. And I've talked to Shawnee about that.
Yeah.
And,
You talked to me about it.
yeah. And I'm
Built
not afraid to get
accountability.
vulnerable on this.
Yo,
Because I want you guys to understand
just know.
that even as Christians, we all go through the same crud.
Yeah.
We had lives probably before we were Christians. Like, I didn't grow up in, per se, a totally Christian life. My mom would bring up God. We'd go to church every now and again. I have church hurt from that stuff. But I can now say I am fully Christian.
Yeah.
I am in a relationship with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
I'm in a relationship with a man.
Exactly. I'm not ashamed to admit that.
And his name is Jesus. I love that.
But-
did I send you that? Or did I make you
You
watch it?
talked about it last
good.
podcast.
Oh, I
I don't
did.
think
I did.
you ever sent it to me.
I'm sorry, I will.
Hey, we get distracted. That's how we are.
It's bad.
But I am fully Christian now, and
Yeah.
it took a lot to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I believed in God probably basically all my life, but
Yeah.
I believe in Yeshua now.
Yeah.
I like to say no. I don't believe. I know.
Yeah.
Because belief, there's always can be a doubt there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a belief. I know. This is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fact for me.
I like that. Stealing that, by the way.
That's totally fine. It's like when you tell people, "Oh, do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in God?"
No, I know he's there.
No, I don't believe. I know he's there.
He's right here with me right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
He exists. There's no question in my mind anymore. There used to be. There's not now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I've brought up to you, I want to be rebaptized.
Yeah. I think
It's
you
like,
should.
I was baptized a long time ago in a Methodist church, but it's like my faith, my knowing now is so much greater. And it's like, I know I have a purpose now. I kind of know what my purpose is.
Yeah.
And I'm striving to get to that point.
Yeah. I got baptized last year. Got rebaptized. I was baptized when I was a teenager.
Yeah. And I want to, that.
Rededicated.
At the Methodist church, was a bunch of old ladies, so there was like this holy water on the thumb cross deal.
There you go.
No dunked in the water, but
No, I want to be suplexed in that water. You better have some Downy in that water because my sins had some stuff on it.
that's why when I filled out the application to become a voting member here,
Yes.
when it said, "Have you been baptized in the Holy Spirit?" and I was thinking about that one real hard. It's like, no, I have. There's things that have happened, especially recently this past year and a half, that I know it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to be rebaptized in the water
Yeah.
because I'm totally different now.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it is a public declaration of an internal transformation. Yeah, I said that right.
Yeah, that sounds right. It sounds
It is
good.
an external declaration of an internal transformation.
Dude, I like that.
Thank you, Nate. For
Which he
But
will be
that
on
is-
here eventually.
He will. But that is the truth, man. Like, there is a time where I just need to rededicate publicly. Be like, hey, I have strayed away. Here's where I need to be. And I think even, I'm on board on that. I'm on board. But yeah.
And I know I definitely want you to be part of that.
Let's go, baby.
Just saying. You might need someone else to help pick
I
me
was
up.
just about to
though, if
say,
it doesn't
I don't know if
backwards.
Nate can do that.
I weigh 300 some pounds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Nate did it for me. He can do it for you. He almost dropped me, though.
I'm going to tell him to stretch a little bit. Maybe take some pre-workout, get his game going. Get his game face
So when I got baptized last year, my mom got baptized at the same time.
on.
And so that was super cool. So I got baptized, and then I baptized my mom. That was awesome.
Wow, what an experience.
Right?
That's amazing.
And I wasn't planning on getting baptized at all. I was in blue jeans, in a nice shirt that I really liked that got ruined, but I was okay with it. But what broke for me is I was sitting playing drums and I felt the Holy Spirit saying, no. I'm giving you this time. You need to be in that line. And I was like, no, okay, yeah. Holy Spirit, ooh. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then I'm not going to share names or share titles or stories, but I'm going to share the story. But I had a student walk up that I knew that was just working through some stuff. Heavy. And I knew she had no plan on getting in that water that day. And she stood up in front of everybody and explained what was been going on and what God did for her, and she needed to do this. And I was like, gosh, dang it. All right, Holy Spirit. Fine. And so I thought I was doing this out of pride. I thought I was doing this out of strength. Staying back and not going forward and getting baptized. But then I soon found out that it was straight just pride. It was my pride speaking of no, it's not the time. It's not. And I'm like, you're not ready. I'm like, nope. I needed to be baptized. I needed other people to see what was happening in my life to then now keep me accountable.
Yeah.
And so my mom did that. Why can't I? And so I walked up and I told the senior pastor at the time, I was like, hey, and I was in the middle of playing. I just dropped my drumsticks. I looked at the other drummer that was there that day, and I just like gave him the nod, and he walked right up. He knew exactly what happened, like what was going to happen. So he walked up, hopped in for me. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate you for that. And he started playing. And, I walked up in the front of the line, hopped in the tank, and let Nate baptize me. I was gladly that it happened, but I was so glad that Nate got to baptize me. And got baptized, came up out of that water, and was like, all right. And so then I was ready to leave, and Nate's like, no. You're baptizing your mom. And I was like, whoa. I was bawling like a little baby.
I bet.
And yeah, she walked up. I got to pray with my mom, baptize her, and then literally hop out of the water. Realized then that I was like, I have no other clothes. I am soaking wet. I have no other clothes. And so I played drums. I got back on the drum set and finished a full service. Because that was just the beginning of the service. I finished a whole hour and a half service playing drums, soaking wet.
So was that a couple years ago then? Because I don't.
That was,
remember. That
2
wasn't
years ago.
last year.
Nope.
Because I was here last year when they were baptizing everybody.
No, it was. It was last
it?
year. Yep. Because
So they were playing music the whole time.
Yep.
and- Huh.
That was last. No.
That
It was
was
2 years ago.
yeah.
Yep. Correct. You're
'Cause I
correct.
don't remember you getting completely soaked.
It was with
last
Jay,
year.
and so
Okay,
yeah.
He wasn't the pastor when I was
Nope.
here.
Nope. And so yeah. That's wild.
Well,
What
I
else? we
think
got? So we're at 2 hours.
I've got a closing,
Yeah.
a couple closing things. First thing I want to say, this is something I heard on TikTok, and I
Yeah.
felt like I needed other people to hear this. If you're led by your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
you'll always fall for the devil's lies.
Ooh.
Always fall for him.
Where's that at?
It was
Or
a guy on
just a
TikTok.
speak,
A
like
guy
someone
talking on
preaching it?
TikTok, and it's like, that is so true. I don't know if it's in the Bible or not, but there's so
bet
much
it is.
truth in that statement.
Say it one more time.
If you're led by your feelings, you'll always fall for the devil's lies.
That is pure
Always.
truth.
And I could go back to I don't know if you probably haven't had a chance to listen to the Help My Unbelief podcast.
Yeah.
As busy as you are.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I've listened to a few episodes actually.
There's the first witch they had on there.
Mhm.
She was talking about, because she's paganistic too. She was saying how she was saying, Jesus and God, I feel like I need to go look at these other gods and all this stuff too. Give me a sign. And she said a cardinal showed up. Well, in the Bible, it's not cardinals that show up; it's doves when God gives his approval. So that goes right there. She was in her feelings,
Mhm.
and the devil was able to lie to her to the point where she believed it was God talking.
Yeah. Yo, I will say that the devil will speak to you. The devil will
Oh yeah,
manipulate you. The devil can sometimes sound like the Lord.
yeah. I mean, he came from God. God
yeah.
made him. He was
fell from heaven.
a beautiful angel,
He fell from heaven.
and he was the angel of music,
He was-
basically. So you know,
he was the Justin Bieber of his time.
yeah.
But that's okay. Ooh, I'm not even gonna get into it because we'll be here for another 5 hours.
You
And I
better
have
put
to
it
go to
down
a
on the
camp.
topic for the next episode. I'm telling you, you got that.
I'm writing it right
got
now.
access to the spreadsheet. Put her down.
I'm writing it right now.
Then
Watch me, Jake.
the other thing I wanted to put out
Oh,
there.
I just went in first time.
Awesome. The other verse I wanted to put out there.
Yeah.
I'll let you kind of finish before I get reading. But I was in my Bible at work listening to Ezekiel, which if you ever want to hear God, I'm going to say is God pissed off. Go to Ezekiel. First few chapters, it's like, holy cow. It's like you've read about, he was so mad he sent a flood and all this stuff. You like straight up hear God talking there, how mad he is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at one point he says he's got this one angel with a scroll and basically a pen or whatnot. Tells that angel, anyone who is repentful of any of my people who are repentful for their sins, put a mark on their forehead. Looks at these other, it was like 4 or 6 angels clad in armor and swords. It tells them, kill everybody else.
Oh.
Kill everybody else. He
That'd be
was so
terrifying.
mad. He didn't care. Women, children, men, kill them all if they're not
Wow.
repentful.
Wow.
And it's so scary, the anger that he has, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then you get to this point in Ezekiel too, where it's Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Listen up, guys. The person who sins is the one who will die. The child will not be punished for the parent's sins, and the parent will not be punished for the child's sins. Righteous people will be rewarded for their own righteous behavior, and wicked people will be punished for their own wickedness. Now listen up. But if wicked people turn away from all their sins and begin to obey my decrees and do what is just and right, they will surely live and not die.
Yeah.
All their past sins will be forgotten, and they will live because of the righteous things they have done.
Wow.
I feel like there's somebody out there that needs to hear that. All the things you've done in your past can be reconciled.
Wow.
And since Jesus, you have to do it through Christ, but you have to follow their teachings.
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's in the Old Testament. It's in the New Testament. It's throughout. You will be forgiven.
Wow.
And even though you may think it's hard, it's rather easy to come to Christ.
It's insanely easy, actually.
And if you don't want to read the Bible and you want to get to know Christ, watch the Chosen series. Straight up. They try to keep as close to what's taught in the Bible as possible while making it still entertaining because it is TV.
And it's really good. Oh, it's so good.
I cry every episode. I swear I do.
I still have to get into the new season. I'm sorry.
I'm not into... Well, maybe I am into season 3 now.
Well.
But still, my most powerful episode for me is still the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
With Mary sitting in the bar, getting ready to try to drink her sorrows away because of the demons.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus grabbing the cup, and she gets all mad at him and storms out. And as she's storming out, all of a sudden you hear him say, Mary of Magdala, you are mine. The whole calling her name.
Yeah.
Like, I'm feeling it now. It's the whole calling of her name. It's like, I don't know. It's something about him calling you.
Mm-hmm.
You are his. And instantly, boom, the demons are gone.
Chills.
Instantly, life changed.
Literal chills.
And it's every time I see that scene. I put a TikTok a long time ago
Yeah.
on my other account, not our account. So I need to probably pull that off and put it on
Throw it
our
on.
account.
Do it.
So
We'll get pulled for, what is that called?
they didn't get mad on TikTok because I actually
that's
added in other music too, so it didn't copyright anything.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. Copywriting.
Yep. So what
That's final thoughts.
final stuff you got? Those were kind of my 2 things that I felt like I needed to say.
Forgiveness. It's for everybody. It's rated
Yeah.
E for everyone. Just like my hands.
EA
Rated E for
Sports.
everybody. Uh-oh.
Forgiveness for everybody.
Hopefully no one sends me a text because I can't figure out my sound. I have a Mac if anybody can help. But
PCs are better.
I have one. You know I have one. It needs to run. My final thoughts. Yeah, forgiveness is for everyone. It's a biblical principle for everybody. Man, children, women.
I liked what you said to me this Wednesday night about it, though.
What one?
Biblically, what is forgiveness? Easy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Biblically, it's easy to forgive. Practicality, absolutely impossible.
It's hard. It's very hard.
Because of this thing we have called flesh. Our flesh.
Yep. Living in our flesh, it makes it hard.
Everything happens that is tough is because of flesh.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. What about you? Final thoughts.
Well, those are kind of my 2 things, those 2 verses.
Yeah.
And then I do have one other thing. This is from I listened to the Secrets of Success podcast. That's going to be kind of hard to say,
is that?
apparently. That's Dr. Eric Thomas, a.k.a. E.T., the hip-hop preacher.
I love it. Does he Is he hip hop?
Well, like I guess they call him that because he did do a few like hip hop albums in the
That's
past,
awesome.
and bringing the preaching into that. He's a great guy.
Huh.
He's like the #1 motivational speaker in the world.
Hmm.
He's awesome. I'd recommend that podcast to anybody. It helped me come to back to loving on Christ too. So
Yeah.
I recommend that to anyone, and it's part of the reason that my wife and I are looking into real estate now and trying to get to the point where we don't have to work for anybody else anymore. We're working on it. I mainly want to get her in a happier place and such. But he said this: rely on the people you could rely on. The last podcast I listened to of his, and that got me thinking. Rely on the people you can rely on. So don't rely on strangers. Don't rely on those that you know aren't reliable. But there are those people in your life that you can rely on, and do rely on them. You have an issue, something's going on, contact them.
Yeah.
Don't sit at home in your sorrow.
Actually use your accountability.
Yep. And right now I've been sending a lot of stuff to Dalton, honestly. And
Come
even
on.
though he might not reply back sometimes.
There was
I know he's getting
okay,
it.
I felt bad about this. When was it? I gotta pull it up. Yeah, there was this run where you had that run. I felt awful. You sent me a verse and then you talked about it, and then you just kept going, and I was like, I feel awful, because that was on Tuesday, and I was jam packed full of stuff for due for camp. So I was like, it hit me like end of day, and I was like, I need to respond to Jake, and so I apologize for that. By the way,
that's totally fine. See, I've come to the realization you're a fairly busy guy.
I'm sorry.
And you're ADHD like me, so your mind bounces everywhere too. So sometimes you're going to remember 3 weeks later, oh, crud, I got to do that.
The funny thing is your message was up on my phone, and I never turned it off, so I could remember, oh, it's right there, I got to respond. But I was so locked into writing the sermon that I was like, I spaced it. And I literally sat there for like 5 hours with my phone on. So it almost died.
Oh,
Not a score.
I was about to get all excited, but let
I
down
know.
a little bit here.
Kobe.
All right. Trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, did you see that Gen Z Bible Stories TikTok? I sent you? Why can't we have a Bible version like that? I loved it.
I think God just flamed on him. What?
Okay, sorry, that's going off on a whole nother dealio.
But I'm in for it. But yeah. Well, awesome, man. That was the podcast for this week.
And hopefully this is a little bit better.
Yes.
View-wise.
Please tell us if this is what you like. We want to adapt and become better. Pastor Teresa, I'm sorry, but we took your office. I didn't ask.
Don't worry, you'll
I
be
love
on
you.
the podcast eventually with us.
I love Teresa. Oh,
She's
her and
amazing.
Pastor Frank. She's one of the people I called this Wednesday to kind of just talk and help me out. So
You want to
you're the
know
best.
the moment I realized how awesome her character is?
Yeah.
When we were in Kearney at that conference, and she literally leapt over chairs to pray for people.
Yeah.
Chairs were not getting in her way. No obstacles. She probably would have leapt over other people to go pray for these
pushed me
people.
out of the way to pray for people. She pushed me out of the way to pray for my wife.
She's an amazing person.
Oh, she's awesome.
And I haven't had a lot of one-on-one time with her yet, but I already tell you right
just
now,
wait.
I love that lady. She's amazing.
Just wait. The
And she's the
second
perfect yin and yang to Pastor Frank.
she is everything Pastor Frank isn't, and thank God for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. But yeah, that's the podcast for this week, guys.
Yep. So come to our church if you want to. Grand Island, Nebraska.
Abundant Life. Around the corner, 281.
I love this place. We have that women's conference. We mentioned it earlier.
Yes,
if you're
next
a woman.
conference as well.
Yeah, the next conference.
The
that's for the
next.
youth people. So if you're,
That's for everybody.
yeah, if you're, go
Yeah.
ahead.
If you have any, sorry, I'm just taking it over. If you have any influence over any youth, which is every single person, come to this.
It's free as well.
It is completely free. You'll get fed physically and spiritually. And then if you're a woman, or you know what? No. If you're a husband, or if you're a boyfriend, or if you want to become married later on in life, send any female you know to this conference.
Oh yeah.
Watch their kids. Watch your own kids. Send them to this conference. They need to be here. For your sake and for their sake. Make them come. That's it. That's my plug.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Hopefully we'll see you on a Sunday sometime. Come up
Come
to
on.
us, talk to us. We're not that hard to spot.
Yeah.
We make a lot of other people look small compared to us. so.
I'm a minimalist, so I wear like 3 things. So if I'm not in my green hoodie, I'm in my tan one. If I'm not in my tan one, I'm in a different green one. Come see me.
All right, so we love you guys. Remember, check us out on all
Come
the
on.
different podcasting platforms: YouTube,
Yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yes. Tell somebody you love them too.
Oh yeah.
You need to.
Shoot us an email.
Yes.
I keep going. This is the Midwestern Goodbye, people. If you don't know this, Midwestern Goodbyes, we say bye, then talk for another hour.
Yep. Bye. We'll see you guys.
Yep.